Hi everyone, welcome to WW Designs. My name is Nikki and today we are going to do another page in my vintage glam inspired journal. I love watching Vintage Glam's videos. She does the most amazing things and I have decided to do something similar. There is a playlist called Vintage Glam Journal which shows you every step of the way working through this journal. It's a bit of a slow process. I sort of sneak one in every now and then. But today we are going to get another page done. Now, this inspiration started with this delightful journal card that I have. And so I decided to reverse engineer this, as in I am starting with this as my inspiration, and I'm going to create a page and a way of holding this in place using these beautiful colours. And I think Catherine has been invited out for the afternoon and she is heading off to her friends on a beautiful spring day for games in the garden. So I went through my stash and found some things that we are going to play with, but I think the first thing I would like to do is just do a little work on the background here. And I thought we're going to do a little stenciling. I want to have a little bit of something happening here because otherwise this is all going to look very bland. So I'm going to use this flower stencil. I have no idea where I got this one from. I'm going to use my brush and I'm going to use Distress ink. This is Victorian Velvet. It's a very pretty pink colour, which I think goes perfectly with all this. So we're not aiming for perfection here. We just want to get a little bit of something happening in the background so that it doesn't look too boring. Because I've only sort of got this one journaling card for this one. I'm doing this a bit differently. Instead of having multiple journal cards, I thought, right, we're just going to use this one, which I absolutely adore. And you know, I don't even know where I got that image from. It's been on my phone for ages. There we go. There's a little flower. And then we might just flip this a little bit and fit this in. Now, am I in screen here? Just making sure you can see what I'm up to. Even though it's pretty obvious, we're doing exactly the same thing again. Now, with these inks, they're quite dark when you start, and then, of course, it lightens up. So I sort of start a bit in the middle first, and then just work my way around, because I don't want it too dark around the edges, but honestly, it doesn't matter. We just want to create a little bit of interest. So there we go. I think that will do. And then the next thing is, let me just pop that away. I remembered I had this beautiful paint in my stash. This is a Art Alchemy Sparks acrylic paint, and it's beautiful pink, glittery. I think we need a little bit of this there. Now, the one thing I haven't got is my sponge, so hang on 5 seconds while I dig for one. Voila, we have one. So what we're going to do is grab my favourite plate. I love this plate. It has layers and layers and layers of paint, but it is delightful, and I refuse to try and clean it off because I just love how it looks. So we're just going to open this up. Now, there is quite a bit of paint here just on this little lid thing. I'm just going to use my sponge. I'm going to scrape it off a bit, and then we're going to do a little bit of tapping on this plate in the hope that we don't have too much paint on our sponge so that we get a pretty clean flower. So we might, yeah, why don't we do it like this? So we're just going to hold it down and dab, dab, dab. Oops, sorry, knocked the camera stand. Okay, that will do. We have a little bit of sparkle down there now. I'm just going to pop that aside for the moment. And we're going to move on to part B. Oh, I better just put the lid on this quickly, sorry, before I forget to do that and then it all goes as hard as a rock. Okay, so I went through my stash to find things to use. And what I decided to do, we are going to make a double-sided tab for the edge of the page, okay? I don't want to put that on there, just let that paint dry a little bit. So I found this beautiful pearlized paper in my stash, and I just used my little deckled edge ruler to tear around the sides, and I added a little bit of inking just around the edge. So this is going to be the base, and we're just going to decorate one side of this, and then the other side will be left and can be decorated at a later stage when I decide what theme we're going to be playing with. So the first thing I found was this piece of lace, ribbon, lace, whatever you want to call it, and I want that along the edge. So that's the first thing we're going to glue down. Now, the one thing I want to do though, I think before we start this, is I need to try and find my ruler. So I want to work out roughly where the middle is. So we're going to measure this. So this turns out it's about 17 centimetres, give or take, because the edges aren't perfect, but that's okay. So that means our centre is about 8.5. Now, the reason why I am putting that mark there is with my glue, I don't want to glue this down through this centre bit. I'll show you why when the time comes to that part. So what I'm going to do is just run a little bit of glue down here, and we're going to leave the same vacant on that side because I don't want this fully stuck down. Okay, I might just flip this around, and then we'll pop this right down in the middle. So, of course, what will happen when this is placed on the edge of my page, it will hang over the edge. I think we're going to have quite a few hangovers. I don't even have a scotch handy. No, we're going to have a few hangovers. I love things hanging over the edges of pages, and this seems like a great one to start with. So that can dry. We'll trim off the edge in a moment. Then the next thing I found was another scrap, and what I'd like to do is put that inside. So we're turning it down with this facing that way because I want this to hang out from underneath. So of course we can apply our glue all the way down for this bit because it's not involved in my attachment process. Now, have we got a right side and a wrong side for this? I think it may go like that, which means I actually want it the other way round. There we go. Now I'm just using my Helmer's Tiger Glue as always. It is my favourite glue, whether I'm gluing fabric or paper, anything like that. Just give it a few minutes and it will dry rock solid and will hold everything beautifully in place. Just got to be a little bit patient at the beginning, because the beauty of it, of course, is it gives you a little bit of chance to move things around if you need to. Okay, so what we will do now is some trimming. Oops, I've got that a little bit wonky. Let's apply a little bit more down here, seeing I've just lifted it. There we go. Right, so we now have those two in place. Because we may get a little bit of seep through, I might just pop a piece of baking paper down. That way we can press on this and any glue that may seep through will not adhere to the other side. Then the next thing I found was this. This was a cut apart sheet on a full scrapbooking page, and I just had to use it because I thought the colours and everything were just like a perfect match. So it wasn't quite long enough to go the full length, but it's pretty close. Certainly close enough. Pity to lose all these lovely rose gold hearts, but never mind. I truly, truly wanted those beautiful flowers. I just thought the colours were delightful. So we're just liberally applying glue. Then we flip this over. Okay, now does this sort of have a right way and a wrong way? No, I don't really think it does, because I think it was meant to sort of sit sideways, but again, doesn't matter. We don't need to worry about that. Now, I won't press too hard down here. I probably shouldn't have put the glue in the middle again, but we will be fine. I just won't press down in the middle, because again, I need to be able to access inside there. And then I have another couple of little bits. I have these 3 little pieces which we are going to add. So I found these 2. These are representing her having some fun playing games. And then I found this single flower which I thought was a perfect match. So we'll pop that down, sort of in the middle, give or take. Then we have the bingo card. This was from the same cut apart sheet, as you can see. But I just thought it was a perfect match for what we were doing here. We might put that sort of on a bit of an angle. And then this very cute little playing card. It's amazing what you find in your stash sometimes when you look, because I was sort of looking for pink florally things, and lo and behold, this is what I found. So there we go. Now we need to tidy up our laces. So we're going to grab my big scissors here, and I'm going to hold down firmly there, trying not to pull at this. There we go. And the same at the bottom. I've got a bit of a rough edge down there, so just being careful not to cut through all that. And the same goes for this piece here. So this is a great way to use up some of those little scraps. You never know what you can find in your stash. Okay, so now this may not be completely dry. Let me feel. It is acrylic paint. Yes, it's pretty good actually. So of course this is very simple. You hook this on to the side of your page, and as I said, when I've decided what I want on this side, I can add some decoration. And then normally you would glue this down. So you'd put a little strip of glue here and here, and then just glue it to the page. But I decided to do something a little different. That way it makes it easier for me to access when I want to decorate the other side. And what I've done, I have grabbed a little, what do we call these things? You know what I'm talking about, these things. And I've added a tiny little bit of bling. I've got 2 pearls and a pretty little crystal. And what we're going to do is we're going to hold this in place. And this is why I did not want to glue the fabric right down. So we've just got to find that center bit. Voila. And then we just pop that through. And then we also have some cute little bling sitting on the side. So that's why I didn't want to glue that down in that little center bit there. So we just end up with a cute little bit of bling. And then we have our very pretty journaling card, which now just slides straight in there. And what we can do is hold on to this and press firmly, and then our journaling card will stay in place thanks to the clip. And there we go. Very simple, easy page. Just lots of pretty laces and flowers. Absolutely love it. So that is another page done in my Vintage Glam journal. And these are so easy to make. You can make lots of these. Cut out bases, have them ready to go, and then just glue some bling on it whenever you need a cute little tuck spot in your journal. So I hope you enjoyed that. If you have any questions, please leave it down in the comments box below. If you haven't already subscribed, I would love it if you did, for all sorts of paper crafting fun. And until next time, stay safe and stay healthy. Bye for now.